I'm Lizzy Lovette and welcome to your home of film movie juice right here on Star Picks. Now, thanks for joining me for what will be an amazing show, because coming up, we get an exclusive sneak peek at the set of a blockbuster which will hit cinemas next week. It is set to be huge. And we'll take a look at the brilliant work of screenwriter Aaron Sorkin. Here's what else is coming up on this week's show. In tonight's show, Renee Brack gives us a behind-the-scenes rundown of the set of The Dark Knight Rises, ahead of its July 19 release here in Australia. We take a look at the new romantic comedy starring Maggie Gyllenhaal, Hugh, Dancy and Rupert Everett called Hysteria. Alicia Malone hits the LA premiere and red carpet for the Amazing Spiderman. And then Renee Brack will fill you in on all the latest and hottest Hollywood news. It's a big show, but first up, let's head straight to the trailer park for a film that's been on the radar here at Movie Juice for quite some time. Now, earlier in the year, I played you a teaser, but now I have a full-length trailer for you. The film is called Looper. Now, if you're not aware of the story, it's set in the year 2072, and the mob have decided the best way to get rid of a problem or enemy is to send them back in time and have them exterminated by a group called Loopers. Joe, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is one of these loopers, and he loves his job until he finds out his next target is, in fact, himself. Take a look at Looper.
So you're me in 30 years.
Sorry, staring into your eyes. It's too strange.
Your face looks backwards. Do you know what's gonna happen? You done all this already? As me?
I don't want to talk about time travel.
We both know how this has to go down. So why don't you do what old men do and die?
Why don't you just take your little gun out between your legs and do it, boy?
In the future, time travel is outlawed, used only in secret by the largest criminal organizations. When they need someone gone and they want to erase any trace of the target ever existing, they use specialized assassins like me, called loopers.
You're a looper.
You know what we do? And the only rule is never let your target escape, even if your target is you. Not a good thing. My boss will be searching for me until he finds me.
Sweep the streets, get on it.
I'm gonna fix this! I'm gonna find him! I'm gonna kill him!
Hunt them down. But every second that passes is bad.
What's he gonna do?
I'm gonna save your life.
My life! Your life!
I know you're not lying when you say you're gonna kill this guy.
This is like a nightmare. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Looper is set to be released here in Australia October 11, but if there's any change in that, of course, we'll let you know. Now, something super exciting. As we eagerly await the arrival of the last and final Christopher Nolan installment of the Batman franchise, we got a very lucky opportunity to walk the set at Carlton Studios in the UK. Now, the crew, of course, were very secretive, tight-lipped, but they opened up enough to let a few juicy cats out of the bag, as Renee reveals.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely. A legend, Mr. Wayne. A legend.
The Dark Knight Rises stars Christian Bale again as Batman, in the third film of the trilogy that director Christopher Nolan says is the final.
You know, every great story has a great ending, and I think this has been a fantastic trilogy, and you will not be, you know, bored by what we're going to come up with. We have a grand finale for this particular film, and it's got huge emotional stakes, and I think it has a little bit of everything for everyone.
Much of The Dark Knight Rises is being shot in the Card 10 studio in the UK, and Movie Juice's exclusive visit to the set revealed some of what we can expect to see up on the big screen.
We're in a set that we call Bane's Lair. It's really kind of a sewer terminal that exists beneath the city. Our production designer, Nathan Crowley and Chris, kind of designed this in the beginning stages of pre-production. It's where the bad guys are using it as kind of to coordinate their plans of attack on the city. We have a big prison set that we're filming here, and it's a huge kind of dungeon-esque prison. Gotham is a different place because of what Batman and Commissioner Gordon were able to pull off in The Dark Knight. So in The Dark Knight Rises, we find Gotham kind of in a time of prosperity. So people have kind of relaxed back into their normal lives, and crime and corruption is kind of a bit of a thing of the past. But little do they know it's rising beneath them, and at some point it's going to require Batman to get back into action.
We were in this together, and then you were gone. Now there's evil rising. The Batman has to come back.
What if he doesn't exist anymore?
He must. He must.
Basically, what's rising beneath him is kind of utter evil, to be honest with you. Worse than we've seen in the whole legend.
New stars are playing roles helpful to Batman, along with some that promise to be not so helpful.
Yeah, we got Tom Hardy, who's playing Bane, and Anne Hathaway is playing Selina Kyle, and Marion Cotillard is playing Miranda Tate, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is playing Blake. All of them fantastic actors, bring another dimension to the world of Gotham, and are doing really interesting things with their characters.
I won't bury you. I've buried enough members of the Wayne family.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
The Dark Knight Rises is in cinemas from July 19.
How great does that look, The Dark Knight Rises? I know you're hanging to see it, but you're going to have to hold tight just one more week because it's set for release here in Australia next Thursday, July 19. I know you're going to be there. Now, don't go anywhere because coming up after the break, Alicia Malone is hitting the red carpet in LA at the premiere of The Amazing Spiderman. We'll also take a look at the work of one of the greatest screenwriters on the planet. And Renee will be dishing out all the hottest and latest Hollywood news. It's coming up on Movie Juice. Welcome back to Movie Juice. Now, as I said before the break, Alicia Malone is about to hit the red carpet in LA for all the glitz and glamour at the premiere of The Amazing Spider-Man. But I know you want all the hottest and latest Hollywood news. I know I do. Well, the lovely Renee Brack's got it for us.
Happening in the Big Apple, Keira Knightley and Adam Levine hit the street to shoot their big screen drama, Can a Song Save Your Life? Elsewhere in the city, Channing Tatum engaged a crowd of admirers after promoting Magic Mike. The leading man happily posed for photos, signed autographs and even gave one lucky lady a big fat smooch. But fans of co-star Matthew McConaughey weren't so fortunate. The actor was quickly ushered away by his handlers. And Katy Perry showed her patriotic side on a promotional stop in London. The singer donned a pair of red, white and blue eyelashes at the premiere of her new documentary, Part of Me. The concert film portrays the ups and downs of Katy's life on the road, including her sudden split from husband Russell Brand. Through it all, she still remains optimistic about love and passed along this breakup advice.
Top tips to mend a broken heart. Your best friends, your family, and lots of junk food.
Thank you so much, Kate. You're amazing. Thank you.
Oh, and a prayer every night. Please, God, help me.
BET Bet rolled out the red carpet for their annual award show held at the Shrine Auditorium. Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji Henson, Salita Ebanks, Angela Bassett, and both Jaden and Willow Smith were among the stars who turned out for the big night. Performers included Nicki Minaj, Usher and Chris Brown, while Kanye West, Kevin Hart and Beyoncé were among the evening's winners. David Arquette hosted a slew of notable partygoers at his new supper club, Bootsy Bellows. So how did the actor-turned-entrepreneur come up with the Hotspot's unique name?
It's based on my mother.
Oh, yeah?
She had a brief burlesque career.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Lots of naked pictures of her in there.
She's always got the good stuff for us. Thank you, Renee. But now it is time for Alicia Malone to hit the red carpet in LA for the premiere of a film that is set to be colossal, The Amazing Spiderman. Now, it's a 3D extravaganza, and Alicia got the latest from all the big-name stars.
For people who aren't too familiar with the character, what's one thing you'd want us to know?
That he's funny, he's a funny guy, he's a teenage kid and he's funny as hell, and he needs to be funny because he goes through so much tragedy in his life and he needs to laugh through it, and that trickster kind of quality. He's a teenage superhero, what else are you going to do? You're going to mess around, so that's one of the qualities that I've always loved about him.
Being on one of these big superhero films, is it akin to being a kid again?
Totally, yeah. Well, I mean, there were days, you know, you go on set, whatever film you do, you know, you learn your lines and you do your research, you do your homework, and you get on with it and do the gig and throw yourself into it 150%. But with Spider-Man, you know, you walk on set and you go, what? You know, it's like so massive. So you do have moments where I'd like you know, you're reduced to a fan.
It's been a dream since I was 3 years old, and then when it happens, suddenly you have to do it, and you have a huge responsibility to so many people and to yourself, and it changes the relationship you have with that character.
It was hard to find Andrew. He came in sort of late in the process, and when he came through the door, it was a very quick decision. And then Emma, I, of course, was a fan of forever, and I knew all about her. And when I saw them do their screen test, it was magic. It was the easiest thing it made my job very easy.
Oh yeah, every time they played those parts, you know, I just saw it build and build and build. You know, they start off with that real kind of awkward teenage thing, and then it develops into something that could potentially blossom. You know, it's just two really, really beautiful, emotionally detailed performances. You know, and I think they're really the spine of the movie, and it's just an honour to work with both of them.
Was it a concern at all to make it different from Sam Raimi's films, or did that just come naturally?
There was, you know, there's the Gwen Stacy saga, there's Kirk Connors and the Lizard, and there's the story about Peter Parker's parents, which is really the narrative thrust of the movie. I wanted to start off with this moment where Peter Parker was left behind by his parents, and then he goes out looking for them in some way at the beginning of the film, and that the origin, if we've seen the origin of Spider-Man, we haven't seen the origin of Peter Parker, and that was something that I was really interested in exploring.
I'm still not used to it, and I don't think I will be used to it, and I ever, because I love it so much, and I never feel like it could be me in that suit or should be me in that suit. It's just a surreal feeling. So never, and I hope I don't ever get used to it.
You do realise that when Andrew puts that mask on, that he really is an international icon. You know. Of course you're going to be a little nervous, you know?
It's one of the things about this character that's so great. It's like, I love him, my son loves him, and I feel a real responsibility to make a great movie for him. He's also my toughest critic, so.
You don't want to miss that. The Amazing Spider-Man is in cinemas now. Okay, don't go anywhere, because after the break, we are taking a look at a new romantic comedy called Hysteria. Now, it's a story of discovery and has a great cast, which includes Maggie Gyllenhaal, Hugh, Dancy and Rupert Everett. And then in What the Fuzz, we take a look at a phenomenon called Sorkinism. That's all coming up. Thanks for joining me here on Movie Juice. Now it is time to take a look at a brand new romantic comedy called Hysteria. It stars Maggie Gyllenhaal, Hugh Dancy and Rupert Everett, and tells the story of a young doctor in 1880s London who invents the very first vibrator in the name of medical science.
What do you know of hysteria?
Nothing.
But half the women in London are affected. It's a plague of our time.
I have just been offered a position by London's leading specialist in women's medicine.
Oh, no.
I must find some way to attend to these women properly.
I believe the French have had quite a bit of luck using their tongue. No. I want you to meet my daughter, Emily Dalrymple.
Your servant, ma'am.
I've no doubt that one day she would make a fine doctor's wife.
He's a guy who considers himself to be at the cutting edge of medical science, in that he believes in germ theory. I mean, pretty simple stuff, but it's enough to have got him thrown out of several jobs. And actually, when we meet him, we see him being thrown out of a job, and for him, that's the last straw. It's happened too many times, so he decides, you know what, enough of this idealism. I'll take the first steady paying job I can get my hands on, which turns out to be with Jonathan Pryce.
He's a sincere medical man, and I'm doing my job. And at the same time, making a lot of money. I've become very successful. And that's how I then have to take on a younger doctor, and that proceeds to the need for the invention of a mechanical apparatus.
Edmund is an aristocratic inventor. He's in the process of inventing this electric feather duster. And it's in this way that they come across the idea of the vibrator.
Well, that's what I call good, steady pressure. To go any higher?
Feels a lot like those kind of 30s, 40s romantic comedies, especially because, you know, in some ways, like, the fire of the movie comes from the woman. It must be difficult pleasuring half the women in the city.
Madam, pleasure has nothing to do with it, I can assure you.
Well, I suppose that depends on whether you're over the table or on it.
Charlotte is a firebrand and a suffragette and a believer in the women's movement and women's rights. And initially, I'm kind of horrified by her, and ultimately, of course, I'm more drawn to her.
Apart from the very funny idea, there's also some theme that's much deeper, you know, which is about suffrage and feminism and this constant struggle between men and women.
I'm but a simple doctor. I have no ambition for notoriety.
Whether you seek it or not, Dr. Granville, you are destined for fame.
There's plenty of buzz around that film. Hysteria, it is in cinemas now. Okay, it is time for What the Fuzz. And this week, we are putting an extremely talented screenwriter under the microscope. His name is Aaron Sorkin. Now, if you're not aware of him, I bet you know his body of work. He has written projects like Moneyball, The Social Network, Charlie Wilson's War, also The West Wing and A Few Good Men. But what I bet you don't know is that they all follow a little bit of a pattern. Take a look.
But the only thing you have to do to make me and your mom happy is come home at the end of the day.
The only thing you ever had to do to make me happy was come home at the end of the day.
I'm not gonna like you, am I? Don't be ridiculous. Everybody likes me.
I'm not gonna like you very much, am I?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Dana. Everybody likes me.
But at the moment, I could buy Mount Auburn Street, take the Phoenix Club, and turn it into my ping pong room.
I could buy his house 4 times and turn it into my ping pong room.
Answer them, don't answer them. It's entirely up to you.
Tell the press, don't tell the press. It's entirely up to you.
This is gonna get worse before it's gonna get better.
This will get worse before it gets better.
A writer once wrote, as if it matters how a man falls down.
As if it matters how a man falls down.
When the fall is all that's left, it matters very much.
When the fall is all that's left, It matters a great deal.
A famous monk once said,
I don't always know the right thing to do, Lord.
but I think the fact that I want to please you
Pleases you. Well, that was predictable. That was predictable.
That was predictable.
Follow me. Come with me.
But I don't think you're fit to handle the defense.
So I do hate you and everything you stand for.
You don't even know me.
You've only known me for 4 minutes.
Ordinarily, it takes someone hours to discover I'm not fit to handle a defense.
It usually takes people a better part of an hour to hate me and everything I stand for.
I'm the press secretary, boo-boo. I don't have that kind of time.
Well, that's why you're the press secretary, boo-boo.
Don't get cute with me.
Don't get cute with me.
Say nothing of the fact that...
To say nothing of the fact.
To say nothing of the fact. To say nothing of the fact.
And then I moved on to other things in my head.
But I'd already moved on to other things in my head.
I screwed up.
You think?
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 Yeah, you think?
You think?
You think?
You think?
You think? You think?
You think?
You think?
Not for nothing.
Not for nothing.
Not for nothing.
Not for nothing, but...
Not for nothing, but... Not for nothing, but...
Not for nothing, but...
Not for nothing, but...
Not for nothing.
Casey has less on-air charm and charisma than my high school driving instructor. You know it, Dan.
Me going down there is suicide, and you know it, sir. And you know it, too.
And you know it too.
And you know it, too.
You know it.
And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it. And you know it.
You know it. And you know it.
And you know it. And you know it. And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it. And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it.
And you know it.
Now, if you have any more suggestions or know some crazy film funnies, we would love them for our What the Fuzz segment. So drop us a line anytime at facebook.com/MNCTV. Well, that's all we've got time for this week, but thank you so much for joining me. Another cracking show is lined up for next week as we take a closer look at the film that's set to be the biggest of 2012, the huge Dark Knight Rises. Don't miss that. In the meantime, stay tuned to Star Picks for all the movies you know and the actors you love. Broadcast in glorious high definition with 5.1 surround sound where available. For all the best in entertainment news, find or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and MNC.TV.